You are landing on Cryptex land. Get off the ship and take a walk. Take any guitar and start your own band. Here you can sing, here you can talk, here you can say whatever you want. Here you can stay, become a mutant. Just try to be nice. For hate there is no space. Don't skate on thin ice. You better not run that race. The race of the trolls, the race of the hate. I will show you the rules. Don't hate but create. You are landing on Cryptex land. Get off the ship and take a walk. Take any guitar and start your own band. Here you can sing, here you can talk, here you can say whatever you want. Here you can stay, become a mutant. Just try to be nice. For hate there is no space. Don't skate on thin ice. You better not run that race. The race of the trolls, the race of the hate. I will show you the poles. Don't hate, but create. The race of the trolls, the race of the hate. I will show you the poles. Don't hate, but create.
Hello guys, how are you? Cryptex here. I hope you are enjoying your Valentine's days, guys. So happy to have you here. Jenny, enjoying my Valentine's Day, but still listening. Thank you for that, Jenny. Christopher, Topher from Australia. How are you, Topher? Happy to have you here. I don't know. Let's see. Carla Ann. How are you, Carla? How is your Valentine's Day? Dirty Diana. How are you, Dirty Diana? Carla, your unanswered question was interesting in Snake's chat, Cryptex. Remind me, please, what is the question I made that was unanswered? I forgot. I made a couple of them, so I really don't remember which one is the one you're talking about. Sistru, how are you? Happy to have you here. Sistru is everywhere in the YouTube streets. I see you everywhere, man. Fight for justice, how are you? How are you? Fight for justice. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. We're gonna talk about Ricci Davis again today. Why? Because Ricci Davis is there in the YouTube streets again. Remember that well, I'm gonna profit. I'm gonna take advantage of the presence of Dirty Diana. Maybe 1 month ago, Dirty Diana promised me to have Ricci Davis here in my channel. I have a couple of questions for him that I don't see that those questions were asked in the case-by-case channel, and yesterday in the Prof's channel, neither. So Diana told me that this is gonna happen after the interview with Prof, because that was already planned. So she didn't want to mess with the order of the interviews. And of course, I respect that. So hopefully it's gonna happen. I have some questions for him. maybe those questions are gonna be a little bit hard, but let's see. Anyways, again, I respect the order, and I want to do this in the good and the proper way, and not in a messy way, let's say. Carla is talking about the Rixnay's streaming this afternoon. That streaming was a little bit shaky. That's why I want to talk about Ricci Davis today, because there are a lot of how can I say? There's a lot of division of opinions here about the whole situation surrounding Ricci Davis. There was a friction between case by case Amy and the prof. I'm gonna try to talk about a couple of subjects here tonight, trying to be respectful with all of the creators here. So let's see. Rebecca is here. How are you, Rebecca? Happy to have you in the chat tonight. So I'm gonna start maybe with okay. One thing I want to say. The whole situation about the Ricci Davis statements is very interesting to me. I think this is very relevant for the case. He has pertinent information, relevant information. At least the information he had in 2017 about the box cutter is something that we cannot ignore at all. So Ron Logan confessing to Ricci Davis about a box cutter being the murder weapon in the Delphi's case is something really relevant, right? Now, the rest of the information that was told to Ricci Davis by Ron Logan and Keegan Klein, let's see how credible that information can be or not. When I watched the interviews that Amy from Case by Case made to Ricci Davis in her channel, I really liked the interviews. I think those were a great documents. In this case, it's not easy to have this type of characters or those type of relevant persons in the YouTube channels. A couple of channels had people like that, suspects, let's say, or people having information. Sleuth Intuition, he had Julian Powell, he had the Vinlander, what's the name? Patrick Westphal, Amy, she had Ricci Davis. But I have to say that the interviews that were made by Amy were not easy to follow. First of all, because Ricci Davis, he's not a great communicator. So I don't know what's the proper word to use, but he's kind of, he stammer a little bit, and he's rambling. He goes one way, then he goes to the other way. It's like Skip Jansen. I love Skip Jansen, but he's like that. It's hard to follow. And not only that, the audio in the case-by-case interviews was not good at all. I'm not criticizing at all case by case. I think it was because she was trying to interview Ricci using her cell phone, and he was in the jail, so it was kind of messy. It was hard to follow. So I have to say that yesterday I was very interested in the interview that was made to him by the prof. I didn't watch the whole streaming. It was like 4 hours, but I have to say that it was easier to follow. to understand the message and the information that was provided by by Ricci Davis, and the way the host was like clarifying some points or directing the interview, explaining the things to the audience. I think it was done in a very good way. So just to say that. So I don't know exactly what is the friction between case by case and the prof. There's something behind the scenes that I don't want to enter uh, in that fight or friction or whatever. But I want to talk about the information that was provided to. What do you have about the gay people, Kale Huff? We have a troll who is kind of I don't know what to say, but we have a troll. If one of the moderators can block him, I would be happy for that. So what I did is I took the transcript from the streaming that was made by the prof. I put the transcript in Grok, and I asked him to provide like the main ideas that were told by Ricci Davis. So I want to talk about that. See what are your opinions as well here, guys. And yeah, let me come back for a while to the chat just to see who else is showing up. So we have Mustang. How are you, Mustang? Nice to have you here again. Fishy Corleone. How are you, Fishy? Fishy is the boss. Jer, Canadian fellow. Please get to the point. I'm gonna take my time. So sorry if you don't have the patience to wait. So you can just leave. I'm gonna take my time. Yeah, if the flow is off, I cannot focus. It's hard to follow. It's hard to follow. I agree with you. Streets of Bakerfield. You have to tell your husband that he needs to tell the truth about why Amy and I stopped putting money on his books out of our own pockets. He lied and used the money to buy drugs and OD. How do you know that streets of Bakerfield? How do you know that was the situation? So this is becoming a little bit nasty. Try to behave, guys, here. I don't want to have this type of conversations in the chat, guys. Please try to behave. Let's talk about the information itself, okay? Okay. I know, Fishy. I know, Fishy. So according to according to Grok, this is what Ricci Davis was providing us information. So let's talk about the motive and how the crime was planned. So the primary target was Liberty German. She was groomed and lured via the fake Anthony Shots profile operated by Keegan Klein. So I agree with that. As you know, In my opinion, Keegan Klein is the one who is like the mastermind of this crime. To me, the Dropbox is the holy grail of this crime. The most plausible explanation, in my opinion, is that Keegan Klein, he had a lot of information related to power with people, related to people with power that are involved in that Dropbox. So, first point, so far so good. Rixney, he doesn't believe that the clients are involved. A lot of people doesn't. I just think that this is really insane. How can the clients not to be involved in this crime? Is just, it doesn't make sense. They have to be connected to the crime somehow. In my opinion, Keegan was the intellectual actor of the crime, and he participated in the commission of the crime, at least driving to the cemetery with someone else, potentially his father, Tony. Second, and I have to say, and I had the other time Rixney in my channel. It was a nice conversation with him, and I asked Rick this question: do you think that you have a bias because you are friends with Tony Klein? He said he doesn't think so. And I asked also, do you think that Tony Klein is maybe manipulating you? And he said, potentially. So even Rick Snay, he said that Tony Klein is maybe not telling him the truth. So he trusts Tony Klein. And to me, his research can be a little bit biased, let's say, but that's fine. Let's continue with Ricci Davis information. So Klein allegedly blackmailed Ron Logan, a customer for child sexual abuse material, CSAM, on burner phones Klein supplied and maintained every 6 months to use Logan's property for the abduction. So, according to Ricci Davis, Keegan Klein, he had that area already in mind to commit the abduction with the other perpetrators. And the connection between Klein and that area is Ron Logan, who was one of his clients for the CSAM scenario. The intent was to abduct Libby and potentially take her out of state, not necessarily to kill her immediately. Abby's presence was unexpected. Remember that this is not the first time when we have a situation where Keegan Klein is catfishing girls and trying to meet them, and having an additional girl that was unexpected. Remember the Kyla story in the Galveston's park? So this is also kind of similar to what happened in I think it's the Foster's Park, if I remember properly. So far, to me, the whole story makes sense. Let's continue. Let's see the other elements provided by Ricci Davis. It's also, to me, that for sure it's impossible that the clients are not involved, and it's very weird that Ron Logan is not involved as well. So we have the girls being killed in his property. We have Ron Logan lying about his alibi. We have Ron Logan, his phone pinging at that very critical and specific timing near to the crime site. So that connection is not insane, let's say. So far, so good. And also, of course, the most important thing to connect Ron Logan with the crimes is the information he gave to Ricci Davis about the box cutter, something that only the killer would know. So it's not that bad. The next paragraph. A small group was involved. Ron Logan, Keegan Klein, and at least one or two other unnamed individuals. One described as walking to Logan's property from nearby to collect a burner phone. Another possibly helping dispose of evidence via a connection at a landfill dump site. So we are talking 3 to 4 people. That's the conspiracy here. 3 or 4 perpetrators committing the crime. Maybe just 2 of them committing the crime physically, let's say. The other 2, one driving the car, another one disposing evidence. Again, it's not that crazy in my opinion. So far so good. Before going to the next section, let me come back to the chat. I don't know if still shaky. So give me 1 second here, guys. Okay. He trolls a lot of chats, and I agree he's a loser. Yeah, sometimes the trolls are people we already know, and they are not brave enough to use their own their real names. But this is what it is. It's very easy to hide behind a chat and to be a troll. That's the easiest way for the weak people. But it is what it is. Dirty Diana, sorry. I know it's a hard subject, but especially with everything that is going out right away today, but it is what it is. Yeah, I know there was a troll. Carla, it's really hard for me to imagine how crazy this case has gotten. Yeah, for me it's not hard to imagine because it's been like that since almost since the beginning of the murder. So yeah, and maybe it's gonna become even crazier. But yeah, we already know how is the situation here, guys. Fishy. They created their account in 2017, so I don't know. Which account? Are you talking about the Anthony Shots account? That account was created in 2016. So I don't know if we are talking about the same thing, but okay. Post-punk, how are you? Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, guys, stay civil, please. Huge coincidence, you mean Keegan Klein? Hola, Jenny, how are you? Jenny. Rick Snay said 2 weeks ago he's not friends with Tony anymore. What happened between Snay and Rick? Snay and Tony Klein. Tell me, I'm interested about that. Figures he's got away with everything, I guess. Living it up in Florida. Yeah, having the time of his life in Florida. How cool is that? Justice for the girls, right? When some of the actors are not convicted for the crime, we cannot say that justice was served in this crime, right? Streets of Bakersfield. Tony Klein doesn't live in Florida anymore. Okay, where is him? Is back to Peru, or where is Tony Klein? Ah, really? Back in Peru? Okay, good information. I can see that Streets is very well informed. Snake told me he lives with his mom now. Oh, really? Sleuth Intuition is the real Sleuth Intuition? Or this is an alter account? How are Sleuth? If you are Sleuth. Happy Valentine's Day. I think in jail. God's my sugar daddy. Why was not Chief Police and Kelsey being arrested and investigated and charged? Blitz Sky was a planted artificial intelligence. I disagree with that. 100%. I disagree. No troll account. Okay. Yeah. Cool to have you back, Slot. Patrick Westphal was released and is waiting for court at home in Crawfordsville. Jenny loves the rat tails. Postpunk, she's okay. 18th wedding anniversary, but hanging out on YouTube because Spoo's sick from chemo. Okay, he's sleeping. Okay, I hope he's gonna get well soon. Melt the ice, Beanie. Yeah, fuck ice. Fuck ice. This is true. Rick said he got pissed off at him for talking about him on his show. So Rick Snay was talking about Tony on his show, but he was always talking about Tony. No, that was not something new. Tony's house got destroyed in Florida. Ah, really? By a hurricane or something like that? Oh. Okay. I'm really sorry about your hobby. Yeah, me too. I hope. Ricci Davis failed a lie detector. He's not credible. But what type of questions he failed? I don't know. I would love to have that interview to be able to know what questions he answered correctly, or to what questions he was not lying, and what questions he failed. Because I think that's the purpose of a lie detector, no? And I think that's what happened with Keegan Klein when he confessed at the Grissom Air Force Base. Maybe he was telling some lies, but he was telling some truths. And that's why law enforcement, they went to search the Wabash River. So yeah, we have to watch the results of the lie detector, like in a totality, because just a failed result doesn't mean that he failed all the questions he was asked during that polygraph interrogation, let's say. What's happening with Simbat? I think he's okay. Streets, it was not a real polygraph and done in horrible conditions, okay? You have a good information, guys, here. Okay, so let's come back to the next section about the whole Ricci Davis story. So The events on February 13, 14, 2017. The night before, February 12th, a party occurred near Logan's graveyard area with drinking and vandalism. Ron Logan bought alcohol. Participants, possibly younger people, caused damage and were forced to clean up. So it was a messy party the day before. So who was present in that party where there was alcohol, where there was some type of damage in the Ron Logan's property? I don't know. We know that. Maybe we have some clues, but let's continue here. Trash evidence from the party was gathered and dumped at a landfill by Logan the morning of February 13th. So I think this is the video that we saw when we can see Ron Logan disposing some garbage or trash or elements, items at a landfill the morning of the 13th. So why do we say here trash evidence from the party? So maybe because if we are able to know what were those elements that were disposed by Ron Logan, we would be able to connect or to confirm that some specific persons were present at that party. That's how I can read it, but let's continue here. Keegan Klein and at least one other arrived. Klein left his personal phone at home with an application simulating activity for an alibi. Used burner phones. So this is one of the main explanations that some people use to say that the clients were not involved in the crime, and this is because their phones were being operated or were active at their property and not in Delphi. But when you have someone like Keegan Klein, he's the one who knows how to cheat law enforcement or how not to be detected when we talk about phones. Of course, if he was planning this type of abduction, he wouldn't be that stupid to bring his own phone to Delphi. So to me, this is not like an airtight alibi at all. That could be very well planned by Keegan. It's not to me. It's not an airtight alibi. Just give your phone to other friend to use the phone while you are committing the crime or helping someone to commit the crime. So this is not an airtight alibi at all, in my opinion. And remember that we don't have the video of the marathon gas station. That could be the proof for the presence of Keegan Klein in Delphi the day of the murders. And we don't know if it was the FBI or if it was Brad Ross's brother, the one who was responsible for the destruction of the marathon gas station video. Now, they lured the girls to the Monon High Bridge area. A woman stopped to check on Keegan Klein's broken down vehicle, spooking him. He drove to Ron Logan's and walked back via a back path to meet the group. So this is consistent with the story that was posted in Facebook at the time by a girl in Delphi. allegedly the driver of that Facebook post story was identified. I really don't know if that's the case or not. To me, this is like an urban legend. I'm not sure if that guy was identified. If he wasn't, that could be very well Keegan Klein. Again, there are there is some consistency here in the whole story. Now, I have to say the consistency is that good that could be fabricated. And I'm not saying fabricated by Ricci Davis, but maybe fabricated for people talking to Ricci Davis. And I would be happy just to say, hey, look, all of this information is consistent with my theory, but it's just it fits so well that it looks fabricated. I mean, the first piece of information related to the box cutter is great, but when every single piece of information that was added to his story looks like a, a potential fabrication, in my opinion. I'm not saying again that Ricci Davis is a liar, but I don't know how credible is the information that was told to him by other persons, by other people. Let's continue here. Ron Logan, described as a nervous circling before approaching, displayed a firearm on the bridge to control the girls. So Ron Logan was using a gun on the bridge to control Abby and Libby. The group, I guess, is Keegan Klein and Logan and the other actor. They forced the girls down the hill, handcuffed Abby and Libby arm to arm, and attempted to undress them, possibly for see some material. I don't know if in the autopsy report we can know or we can have some details about handcuffing marks. I don't know if that's something that was part of the autopsy. I don't think so. I don't remember anything related to that, but who knows? Abby slipped a cuff because she has small wrists and tried to run. Libby told her to flee and called police grandma. The abductors, they threatened the girls. Abby, if you run, your death is on you. So it's on Libby. Abby froze and returned. During a struggle, tussle, possibly crossing Water Creek, Ron Logan reportedly bled from a nose injury onto clothing items. And if I remember properly, it's because his nose hit Abby's head. There was some type of struggle, and that's why the nose of Ron Logan ended bleeding onto the clothes of the girls. The clothes, underwears, were thrown into the water. One item caught on a branch limb. A third person entered the water, waist deep, to retrieve it, twisted an ankle, argued, and left. So I guess that person was not Ron Logan, and it was not Keegan Klein. So it was the third actor, potentially. Libby was killed in a confrontation. Initially superficial cuts with a box cutter, carpet knife, later finished off. She was placed in a tarp and moved to Logan's barn under rabbit cages. So, after being killed, Libby was moved to Ron Logan's bar. Abby was taken alive to Logan's house, kept in the bathroom. House later bleached, redone. Yeah, remember that the bathroom of Ron Logan was renovated a couple of weeks or months after the commission of the crime, and apparently Abby was kept alive during a while in Ron Logan's bathroom. Again, everything fits so well that it looks, in my opinion, it looks fabricated because it's like no mistake here. Everything it fits perfectly. It's too good. It's too good. Photos were taken of nude girls and or crime scene. Klein later claimed he tried unsuccessfully to sell some pictures in Las Vegas, Nevada, mocking Libby's appearance weight. Imagine Keegan Klein mocking someone else because was overweight. It's just insane. So that was another section related to the story of Ricci Davis. Again, everything sounds just too good to be true, in my opinion. I was fine until the box cutter information is it's just perfect. You know, you have information that only the killer would know, but then with the addition of the other elements, it doesn't sound too credible, in my opinion. Let me come back to the chat. I'm so late in the chat, guys. Sorry for that. Oh my God, I'm so late. I can see that Teresa is here. How are you? Teresa Criminality. I'm gonna skip some comments, guys, because I'm really late in the chat. It's true. There was no sign of handcuffs or any type of restraints, only a thin line under Abby's mouth. Dr. Cord looked closely for them. Yep. Kalisak. There is a Richard Allen Whiteman. So the volunteer said she had no idea where that come from in the beginning, according to newspapers. Doesn't bring up that they were actually is a Richard Allen Whiteman. Talking about the white man. Ah, this is your actual picture. You look good. Streets. Digital. There were two stories about broken down vehicles. One was the worker hiding from his father. The other story was a younger guy waiting for his father. Ah, really? There were two? I don't know. I didn't know that. Okay. The older sister. Tammy, how are you, Tammy? Okay, so what do you think, guys, so far? Do you think the story is credible? Just some elements are credible, or the whole story is not credible? I want to know your opinion about that. So let's continue. Aftermath and complications. The community law enforcement response was rapid. Searchers, roadblocks, drones by evening, February 14 morning, trapping everyone on near Logan's property. The girls, the bodies, were moved multiple times, two, three times per account, within the area to avoid detection. So they were moved to the barn of Ron Logan and to some woods spots. Keegan Klein allegedly wanted to take Abby out of state. Neither wanted to finish her, leading to argument. Libby was killed, still breathing faintly, in a wheelbarrow tarp. Staged scene with witchcraft ritual elements, sticks, symbols, to make it look unlike something an old man Logan would do. So the idea was, I think it came from Keegan Klein to use sticks uh, and to place those sticks on the bodies of the girls to make it look like something related to witchcraft and something that someone like Ron Logan wouldn't do. So, guys, that I really don't think that the sticks are related to Odinis, that the sticks are runes. To me, is that's not the case. I would I would say that a witchcraft scenario yeah, is something that I can buy in terms of staging, but the whole Odinism stuff is just super unlikely for real. Especially when when we have a predator catfishing the girls and communicating with them the days before and the day of the murder, and you give more weight to an Odinism far-fetched theory instead of something that is really more likely. Anyways, that's my point of view. But again, this is the explanation according to the Ricci Davis story for the placement of sticks on the bodies. I don't think that the sticks were placed to hide or to conceal the bodies. I think that's far-fetched and unlikely as well. Ron Logan joined search parties to appear innocent, and that was a Keegan Klein suggestion. Keegan Klein disposed the burner phone's evidence in the Wabash River near Battleground, Lafayette, some possibly via landfill contact. So that we know that this is what Keegan Klein actually confessed at the Grissom Air Force Base, that when he came back to Peru with his father, they disposed the phones and other evidence, meaning knives or backscatters, into the Wabash River. Abby was dressed in Libby's clothes, possibly due to wet, damaged items. Two classmates knocked on Ron Logan's door to search the property. He allowed it. He was nervous but confident. The bodies were hidden well. Abby's mom, meaning Anna, reportedly spoke to Ron Logan, saying she knew he was not involved. Later confirmed to Ricci Davis via contact. What does it mean, this? Anna Williams spoke to Logan and she told him that she knew he was not involved. This is wild. So I don't know I don't know what to think about this. I would keep it as a rumor because it's really wild. It's really, really wild as a statement. Okay, before continuing with the next section, let's come back again to the chat to not to be very late. Simbad. Allen could have parroted Davis, box cutter, claim after reading Davis' account in his discovery documents. And what happened with the fact that Richard Allen was mentioned in the original letters of Ricci Davis as one of the actors, as one of the perpetrators. Why no one is talking about that? And what was the explanation? I really don't know what was the explanation of Ricci Davis for that, because at one point he changed his story. Initially, in the letters of Ricci Davis, he said that Richard Allen was one of the actors. And then he's not. So how was that twist? I don't understand. How did Ricci Davis explain that initially he was putting Richard Allen as one of the actors, and now he believes that he's not? I don't get it. I don't understand that contradiction. And maybe there's an explanation that I missed, but this is one of the questions I want to ask Ricci Davis. Why did you consider Richard Allen as one of the perpetrators in this crime, according to your own letters, and now you don't? I don't know why. I want to know why he changed his story about that. If Baldwin was aware of Ricci Davis, why didn't he call him? Jenny, the defense didn't find anything out about Ricci until right before or during the trial, I believe. I don't think Logan ever joined the search party. Yeah, me too. I don't think so. You're right. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Smoke screen. Fishy, the cops are the ones who began the Odin investigation. Yeah, that's correct. And by the way, Ricci Davis is an Aryan supremacist, or he was. He was connected to one of those supremacist groups. I don't remember what was the name. It was not Vinlanders. It was not Odinist, I think. But he was part of one of those groups. So if I want to be a little bit skeptical about the whole situation, Ricci Davis is involving Keegan Kline and Ron Logan in his story, but he is not involving anyone that is part of that type of supremacist scenario. You know what I mean? So is there any conflict of interest there? I don't know. I'm just asking because I can make a quick connection between Ricci Davis being part of that supremacist group and Ricci Davis not talking anything against Patrick Westphal or Brad Holder, because somehow they're connected. I'm just speculating here, but I think it's it's kind of interesting that Ricci Davis was part of a supremacist group. And one of the theories here in this crime is that the Odinist, uh, the Odinism people, they committed the crime. So I don't know, just asking for a friend. Sinbad. Baldwin met with Davis long before the trial. Ricci Davis accused Baldwin of trying to get him to lie. That's true. The defense had him on a standby at the trial. Same thing as Chadwell, as James Haas, and as who was the other one? Ricci Davis, James Haas, Brian Chadwell, and the other one was I forgot. There were four of them. Damn, I hate when I forgot something, and it happens all the time. And that was one of the questions that Tom Webster asked Baldwin during the 8 hours interview. Why Ricci Davis was accusing you of trying to get him to lie. I don't remember the answer of Baldwin, by the way, but that was a great question from Tom Webster. Yeah, happy Valentine's for all of you guys. Thank you, Fishy, for that. Yeah, criminality is in the house. A VIP show tonight. Sinbad. The original Davis claims were in the 2023 Discovery materials. The two letters he wrote to McClellan in 2024 were obviously not in Discovery. Yeah, 100%. Okay, let's come back to the next section. So, Ricci Davis overall claims. Both Ron Logan and Keegan Klein independently described near identical logistics, staging, and details. Example, body movements, creek crossing, nosebleed, ritual staging, alibi efforts, rapid law enforcement response, blocking, escape. So Ron Logan and Keegan Klein, they talked in separate times to Ricci Davis, and their stories were consistent. So that was one of the conclusions here of this artificial intelligence. Keegan Klein was more arrogant, confident. He felt protected via connections. Ron Logan was more remorseful, paranoid. He claimed blackout, drinking, blackmail, and things went too far. Yeah. And when we see the interviews that the Mordred Sheet and Barbara McDonald, they made to Keegan Klein, you can see that he's super confident and that he doesn't have any remorse at all. I don't know about Ron Logan, but for sure Keegan Klein is someone that is very underestimated here in this community, and that is something that I don't understand at all. He's a fucking pervert. He's dangerous. I don't understand why people underestimate Keegan Klein for real. Next element here. Ricci Davis believes this exonerates Richard Allen, who was wrongly convicted, alleges cover up, lost records, evidence that was ignored, individuals being protected due to CSAM network, like politicians, attorneys, etc. And this is my theory again. My theory, you know what is my theory? The holy grail of this case is that Dropbox. And that sentence or that statement about this Dropbox was the item that triggered the most important CSAM investigation in the history of Indiana. This is something big. Something big. So, again, to me, law enforcement, they made a negotiation to Keegan Klein to keep him silent, to not to sell those guys, those people in power that were connected to the Dropbox. So that's a summary of the information that was provided by Ricci Davis. Again, I think yesterday the information was communicated in a better way than before. And again, this is not a critic at all to case by case. It's just like yesterday the sound was better and the flow was better, in my opinion. But it's just a detail. Again, I made 2 videos reacting to the interviews that Amy made to Ricci Davis, or I consider that those interviews very important, but again, they were hard to follow. So, Jenny, Baldwin couldn't bring in Ricci letters regardless because they involve Logan and Keegan Klein. Yeah, good point. A very good point. Digital. A catfisher could also be an Odinist and a Freemason and a psychopath. None of those are mutually exclusive. And those involved in this have multiple connections and bizarre interests, in my opinion. But there is no proof about an Odinist or a Freemason being a catfisher. We have proof about Keegan Klein being a catfisher. So I don't think that or are you talking about season or not? And the theory that Rixney was presenting today is just hard to buy. That this crime was drug related and a cartel hired Vinlanders to kill Abby and Libby. So if a cartel is gonna take a revenge for some drug deal that went bad, they're gonna kill one girl. They are not gonna kill both of them, in my opinion. They're gonna go for Libby and not for Abby. Now, if that was a collateral damage, let's say, this is not the way a cartel executes people. To me, this is not related to a cartel. It's not consistent with the way cartels kill people. In my opinion, I really disagree with Rexney in that sense. Atwood? Who is Atwood? I don't know. Someone called Putting Together the Pieces. Sinbad, it was the biggest CSAM investigation in the state of Indiana. but it reached a dead end and only resulted in one arrest and conviction. And that's my point. That's my point. You didn't see a lot of arrests uh, related to that super season investigation, the biggest investigation in the state of Indiana. And why is that? Because they made a deal with Keegan Klein to keep him silent, to keep his mouth shut. That's why. It's, to me, it's super logic, but anyways. Digital. Betsy Blair supposedly walked her track 3 times. Did anyone see her? Dr. Grande. Dr. Grande is kind of weird, no? Or it's just me? Kind of weird. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, Simbad, for your generosity. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. Thank you for another show with an objective and honest look at the fact. Jamie, anyone with Tourette's cannot take a polygraph. That is a great point, by the way. Great point. So, yeah, it's hard for Ricci Davis to pass a polygraph. Yeah, great point. You have a great point there. I didn't think about it. And they didn't have a printout as proof of failure. Again, it's like the whole story about the broken down vehicle. Yes, that guy was identified. What is the proof of that? You would fail too if you had a Holman standing there asking the questions. Yeah, 100%. Great point, Jamie, for real. Okay, guys, I think this is all for today. I wanted to know your opinion about the whole story that is surrounding Ricci Davis. What is credible in your opinion? What part is credible? What part is not credible? What do you think about the whole drama between creators? And yeah, I just wanted to talk the subject tonight because I think is still it's very relevant in my opinion, actually. And let's see if the testimony of Ricci Davis is something that is going to be used by the attorneys of Richard Allen in the potential appealing process, let's say. So again, enjoy your Valentine's Day, guys, and see you soon. Bye-bye.